morning, everybody. Welcome to Very Dead Gaming. I'm Very Dead, and today I'm doing some engineering materials gathering. Excuse me. I have a list right here of what I'm looking for, and number one on the list right now is Core Dynamics Compounds, or Composites. Yes. Very difficult to find. I managed to gather 40 units. I need 80, so I'm halfway there. This is a nice little list. It's called ED Engineer. If you're doing any engineering at all, I suggest you get the software. It live links to your game, so that as you gather materials in game, it automatically updates how many more materials you need, and it checks them off the list with these little green check marks as you achieve the correct totals. And then over here on the right, this panel is a material trader. So like it says, it shows trading suggestions, and it takes into account how many materials you need for other things, so you don't have to remember not to accidentally trade away stuff that you already need. Like I can go right here, and it says, okay, I need 3 modified embedded firmware. I can trade away 18 adaptive encryptors capture. I have 39. So that would be a good trade, so I don't have to go hunting for the M.E.F, and I don't use we're not going to use a lot of these in the engineering that I need, so that would be a good trade-off. The ones that are not in blue means that I don't have stuff to trade. So, again, you need a ton of other materials, and I just don't have. Core Dynamics Composites that's one that you really can't trade for. It really eats into your materials. Antimony, same thing. I mean, you can see the trading is massive. But I can definitely make some serious trades. So, and then Improvised Components. And Improvised Components, I might be able to locate those. And, you can also get a lot of these now as mission rewards, but it's finding the right missions, because materials, they don't drop. You just won't get everything possible for a mission, so you have to find the right type of mission. And I don't know if I'm really willing to go drilling down through all that. I probably could look it up. Most of this stuff is, but there's a lot of misinformation out there, and you'll tend to, or it's old information, and things have changed in the game, or it's just wrong. Information, that happens a lot, that it's the popular method doesn't really work. Like, for instance, Core Dynamics Composites, one of the, even in R still says that you need to look for a boom system in the Federation. High population, the better, but that typically doesn't drop Core Dynamics Composites anymore. What it does is the proto-radiolic alloys and all that good stuff. So, and you'll pretty much 100% of the time get something other than Core Dynamics Composites. What I've found is that the state of the system has to be none, not boom, and then it'll start dropping the Core Dynamics Composites. And I'm in a system right now, Maria Cope, and it's been a pretty good system for me for getting Core Dynamics Composites. So far, I've been in this system a couple of times, and I've gotten over 30 units. So it's been, as far as that goes, been a pretty good thing. So here we go. USS hunting. Now the other way to get Core Dynamics Composites is to do combat, and I may end up doing that. You have to destroy Federation ships in like a conflict zone, I think, and then but you also have to then in that same conflict zone then go about gathering those materials while you're being attacked. So it's not always the easiest thing to do. I've done it before, and it can be quite good, but you know, it's a lot of random, just like this is random. You don't always get what you want in the drops. And so what I'm looking for is high-grade emissions, and they're few and far between, and they're hard to come by. I get a lot of distress calls. You're not going to get anything you need out of those except trouble. And so that's the biggest problem with engineering, is that there's no reliable way to get these materials. You're pretty much, it's dumb luck, roll the dice. And there's things that you could do to increase your chances, but even so, if you're not lucky, which is basically what I am all the time, which is unlucky, it takes forever. And it seems like I only get high-grade emission USSs when I'm not looking for them. When I'm looking for them, forget about it. I could be in the same system that 5 in a row just dropped, and then all of a sudden I decide, all right, I'm going to go hunting for them. And then they don't drop. And then you get every other kind of USS, but you don't get the high-grade emission. And I've had better luck getting them near planets. I know there's a lot of, hey, you know, go out 1,000 light seconds out into space, deep space, and fly in circles. I can fly for 3 hours and never get one. And then as soon as I go near a planet, one will drop. So it's, you know, it's just, it's annoying is what it is. But it's one of those things that I'm hoping that they're going to get rid of. They said that they were getting rid of the random USSs and that you could search for them. And I would be willing, to be able to search for them and to get it down to a system where it's easy to find, instead of, you know, you get it down to a system and it's still just random. I mean, that's what this basically is. This is the best system that is out there right now, but it's still heavily dependent on the random roll of the dice. And as you can see, I'm not even getting any USSs at the moment. There's one. See, degraded emissions. See, that's awful. And really what I need to do is check the status. I logged out last night and I didn't check the status of this system. Let me do that right now. Alright, so it's... I get rid of some tabs. System. I'm just going to jump to a system. There it is. This is where I'm at right now. And what we're looking for is status or state. The economy, faction security high, no permit. Oh, see, now it's in a boom. So this is bad. This means that it was the state was none a minute ago, and now it's in a boom. I'll stick around looking for some more of these signal sources here. Look, I'm gonna head back to the main star. Let me see. Go A. There's a new signal source. I'm a little bit far up. Don't need that. Bunch of junk. So we're heading back into the A star. Some speed. I want to get in a little bit closer. I think about 1,000 light seconds out or 1,500 light seconds out to 500 is, I think that was what was the sweet spot. At least it used to be. Not sure what it is anymore. But the purpose of all of this is I want to engineer. I bought an Alliance Crusader, and here I'll just wait, new signal source. Hang on a second. I gotta slow it down as I fly right by it. I'm sure. Yeah, we're running fast. So turn around here. I'm pretty certain it won't be high-grade emissions, but you can't pass any up because it's random, so it could be. The chances are low out here, but you never know. Oh, and look at that. I would have flown right by that. So, alright, so we've got a high-grade emissions. This will be a good test to see if the boom state, when the state was not, I was getting at least one unit, usually two, of Core Dynamics Composites per drop. So one, I got 5 at one time, which was absolutely fantastic. But we'll see. This should all be proto-radiolic, proto-alloys, and stuff like that. But we shall see. Alright, so here we go. And we'll take a look at the proto-radiolic alloys, and that's what happens when you get into a boom state. That and proto-light alloys. Now, these are rare and good, so I'm gonna get them anyways because you always need them. Stop. And I brought limpets with me because I'm lazy and I don't like to keep flying around, so but this is basically what it is now. So I'm gonna have to look for a system. I pretty much narrowed it down that if it's in a boom state, it's very rare that you're gonna get Core Dynamics Composites, and so I think this system has been played out for me. I'll look a little bit further in and see if I can get a few more, because even if I'm not getting what I want, these are very good materials to gather. They're hard to come by. Right, so there we go. So we get rolling once again here. Signal source. So now I'm starting to get them. See what it is. And all I'm doing is gathering materials. It's very simple, very straightforward, pretty boring. It's the end result. You know, it's just like anything else. In order to engineer that ship the way I want it, I really want to basically fully engineer it in kind of in one go, without having to make multiple stops. What I like to do it that way because at the end, you know, you do all your work, and then at the end there's a nice reward. You're not rewarded with more materials gathering. So far, so good. I mean, I've in the last day or so, I've gathered about 40 Core Dynamics Composites. It was maybe 2 gaming sessions, and really, I gathered the most of them when I wasn't looking for them. I just That's typically how it goes in this game, which is maddening. When you're looking for the stuff, you just can never find it. And that's always good. I like to scan these ships because you do collect data. And it's just a good, easy way. Alright, so we've got a signal source over here to the left. Take a look and see. Come on, high-grade emissions. Oh, such luck. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much done with this system. This system was incredibly profitable for Core Dynamics Composites the last few times I've played, but it has seriously dried up. I mean, it's not dropping anything anymore. So I'm just slowing this down, see if sometimes if you're flying a little too fast, you don't get any sort of drop. I'm just checking to see. I just noticed that I had microphone problems, so sorry, sorry, but that's my crappy computer, for sure. Alright, so we're back into it. Sounds like my microphone is working now. But, you know, I don't have any way to tell if it's not working, because I can't hear myself talk, unfortunately. So what I'm going to look for now, we're going to go to Elite Dangerous Database. There we go. And we're going to find a search for a system. We're going to go back to systems. And this is based on, well, first let me do. There we go. So what I'm looking for is the state needs to be none. The security, I'm going to go with high security. And the primary economy doesn't matter, but allegiance needs to be federation. Government can be anything, I think. Where I found I got the best result was if it was an agriculture refinery and a high population. So, and corporate. But I'm just going to leave it be. And I'm going to find a system as close as possible. All right, so here we've got an 8 billion system that has no state, and I'm gonna try it. This should be a place where we can get to find Core Dynamics Composite, but we'll see. But there it is. It's just one jump away. Off we go. We're saying goodbye to this system because it's played out. Oh, wait a minute. And as soon as I go to jump, I get a signal source that I haven't gotten the entire time. That's how it always works. Fly around for a half an hour, no signal source. As soon as you give up, one pops up. We go. Time to try a new system. And of course, right? A new signal source. Nope, sorry. I gave up on you. Not even bothering. And this is the thing I think that most people hate about engineering. There's no good way to get this stuff. There's no fun way to get it. It's just a horrible grind. Alright, so I'm just heading out this way. And I'm going to mark the main star. And we're just going to fly away out into deep space. This is the I guess the current best practice for finding Core Dynamics Composites is you just randomly fly around in space in circles. But I'm not far enough out yet. And I don't think these drop as mission rewards, which is a shame because, gosh, it would be really great. I would just run a bunch of missions because that typically is a great way to do it for other material.
far enough out yet. But you always gotta investigate. Alright, so now we're over 500 light seconds out. I'm gonna throttle back, and hopefully we'll get some, something. And that's the other thing that's maddening about this, is that there's no sure way to get high-grade emissions. If you're having bad luck, you could go 30 of them can pop USSs, and not a single one of them is high-grade emission. And then as soon as you give up, then you get like 4 or 5 in a row. And I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason to it, and I think that's what makes most people just go nuts. At least that's what makes me crazy. And it's really unfortunate that these... Well, the only other method of getting these is you have to go to a conflict zone, I'm pretty sure. And you have to destroy Federation ships. And then pick up the materials that they drop. And again, that's random as well. Just nothing. I mean, nothing's dropping. It's insanely dull. Alright, so there, I'm about 1,000 light seconds out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fly in circles. Until something drops. So far, nothing. Got one. No. looks like this system is not gonna drop them, because I've had about 10 drops now, and none of them have been high-grade emissions. So, time to find a new system. That's typically what I do. Is if they don't start dropping right away, they're not gonna. And I'm pretty sure that's where we're at now. They're just not going to drop in the system. So, and that's the other thing. You get one system in the exact same state as the other. And one system you get in an hour 30 high-grade emissions and pull down 40 Core Dynamics Composites. And then in an hour in a system with the exact same criteria, you get nothing. So that's the thing about this game. There should be a way to get this stuff that's consistent. And unfortunately, there is no way that's consistent that I've found. I've been playing a long time, and I can't consistently get these drops. This system is a total bust. Just all these USSs and not a single high grade. One other thing I want to check is I didn't confirm this in game. I just trusted EDDB. I bet that it's in the wrong state. So you go to the galaxy map, and it's like, well, state is none. It's agriculture extraction. So maybe it's extraction is the problem. Let me go agriculture refinery. Corporate Federation. But we get nothing. So maybe I'll try. Let's try Civil War. Let's try Civil War. Anything close? Try this place. And of course, look what pops right in front of me as I'm... ready to jump out. Yep, encoded emission. Should have known. Sorry. So I'm on the scavenger hunt looking for my Core Dynamics Composites, and they're just not dropping. Alright, so for all intents and purposes, I'm failing massively at finding these, and I'm not really sure why. It's really, it's maddening because when I wasn't looking for them at all, they were just dropping. And now that I need them, I'm not getting. Now what I'm going to do is check the galaxy map. Right, in a sec. There we go, high grade. So we'll check the galaxy map in just a sec. And this is what you're looking for, but I mean, hopefully this system will keep popping them, but even one is better than nothing. Now, so we just cleared one random hurdle. Now we have to clear the next random hurdle, which is it going to drop the materials I want in the USS? And that typically, I mean, you have a better chance in the systems like I'm selecting right now, but it's just a chance. You could still end up with nothing. So you just keep rolling the dice. Alright, so here we go. Take a look at... And we... Snake Eyes, military grade alloys. So it's epic fail yet again. But I'm still going to collect these because they are rare. I just don't need any of them. I've got plenty of military grade alloys. So just pop a limpet and off they go. So while he's doing that, we're going to take a look at the system. And we are at... Oh, now see, it says it's in a boom. It wasn't in a boom. So again, I'm not... in this state, I am not going to get Core Dynamics Composites. They just will not drop. It has to be Civil War or None. That's a shame. Alright. So I guess I'm... it looks like EDDB is way out of sync with what's currently going on in game. Because that's the third system I've jumped to that the state didn't match what EDDB said. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go back to the galaxy map. It's not a big deal. It's a different way of doing it. But like, they must have some sync problems, or this system hasn't been updated in a long time. But we'll see if I can get some more high grades. So that conflict zone is a place where you can go and you can fight it out. And if there's a Federation faction in there, you want to fight against them. And any Federation ships that you destroy in that conflict zone, they have a small chance of dropping Core Dynamics Composites. And that might be where I'm headed in a sec. I'll grab my my fighting ship and go hang out there. Why is a nav beacon in 600 light seconds out from the star? That's odd. Still only one high grade in 3 systems of looking for almost an hour. That is pathetic. Alright, I think I'm about done with this method. It's far, far too inefficient. I'm gonna head back to my home system, and then I'm just gonna go fight it out at comp, though, because this is just too tedious. Wait a minute. Let me give it one last try, because this system is not in the correct state. So let me find one. I gotta figure out how to find it in here. It's, we want industrial, agriculture. I'll do military as well. And then economy. Alright. Let me look for... Alright. There's one. But it's small, so it's not going to have much. Here's one. The state of none. And alright, well, I'll head over here. We'll give it a shot. This one's bigger. Alright, we'll give it a shot. One last try. Before we give up and just go fight it out. Oh, look at that. Of course I get a high-grade emissions right before I leave the system. But it's, again, it's in the wrong state, so I'm not going to get what I want. But that's okay. Well, military supercapacitors you can always use. Stop. Let my skin. So we're heading over to this system, Borfor. This seems to be in the state that I need, which is none. It's got a relatively low population, but it's seems to match up pretty well with the systems that I've been in that have been dropping Core Dynamics Composites pretty consistently. But boy, I'm having a rough run of luck right now. pick a direction. And we'll just fly straight away. So we're out past 500 light seconds. And now... we're looking for high-grade emission. That's not what we're getting. Another distress call. Lots of distress call. No! Not gonna help you. I'll give it 5 more minutes. If I don't get a high-grade emissions, I'm done. I'm gonna go find another way to find these things. Because this is not working. Just not finding anything. It's all a bunch of random stuff that I don't need. Ugh. How many distress calls am I gonna get? So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the ever elusive Core Dynamics Composites, which I require 80 tons of it, or 80 units of it, in order to engineer the ship that I want to do. And it's an Alliance Crusader. I'm getting it ready for some serious anti-Thargoid combat. Unfortunately, I'm unable to locate high-grade emissions that contain Core Dynamics Composite. I've found a few today that contain everything but, and I can't find a consistent method to find these things. If anybody has any suggestions, I've tried pretty much all of the known methods of finding, and they've all been a bust. I mean, hours spent in nothing. I get every sort of USS except high-grade emissions. Which is disappointing to say the least. I was hoping today would be very productive and that tomorrow I'd be able to engineer the ship, but that's not how it's gonna work. I'm probably gonna have to spend days grinding this out now. But this system clearly is not gonna drop high-grade emission. Very disappointing. All right, so I'm done. I'm heading back to my home system, and we're gonna try combat instead because this is stupid. What a dumb mechanic! Absolutely ridiculous. I do not envy anybody that needs Core Dynamics Composites as much as I do, because it's ridiculously slow going to get it. Now this is where it's truly maddening. Yesterday I was maybe two or 3 days ago I was fighting Thargoids, the scouts, and every system I went to was massively dropping Core Dynamics Composites, and luckily for me, I was gathering them. But I didn't really have a specific need for them, but I mean, you always need them if you're going to engineer a ship. They're always a critical component. And so I just started gathering them. And I mean, in one system, I think I got 5 in a row, and I gathered 40 Core Dynamics Composites in less than a half an hour. And it's now been 3 days of flying around looking for systems similar. I mean, identical, because I took note of what that system was. And I'm not getting any. But I think the other method of obtaining them is you gotta go to a conflict zone, destroy some ships, and then when the materials they drop you gather. But even then, your chances are slim. But what I'm doing is, this is my traveling ship, so I can get around quickly, but it's no good for fighting. So I'm gonna go switch to a ship that I can fight in, and then we'll So that's over an hour of playing, and not a single unit of what I was looking for. And to me, that's when you're specifically looking for something and following the best method known to gather them. In an hour, you should get a few. You shouldn't be stuck getting nothing. And especially because the gameplay is just so mind-numbingly dull to get these materials. I wish there was a better way to get them. I mean, anything would be better than flying in circles waiting for a lucky, randomly generated USS. So that's why I'm going to combat, because even though the chances are just as slim, at least you're doing something that is requires a little bit of skill anyways. So that's the dark side of engineering, and even for me, I pretty much like to do just about everything in this game, but there are even things that I can't stomach, and that's one of them. Just flying in circles, hoping for materials to drop, like mana. No, thank you. Whoever thought up that method of getting materials, they're a twisted human being, is what they are. All right, home sweet home.
Delacey, Papa Alpha Tango. This is an independent star system, Commander. Request docking permission prior to touching down. Access denied. Please submit within range.
Come on, I was within range.
Request approved. Set down on landing pad 09er.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch to a ship that I can fight in, and I'm gonna go find a conflict zone and see if that works any better for finding what I'm looking for. think I can use my vet. Oh. Of course, stupid limpets are cargo. So we're gonna have to sell off the limpets. Oh. So now I'm just gonna look for a system that Federation. It's got to meet these criteria. Hopefully, if there's 2 Federation factions, that's great. If not, I just have to find one that there's a civil war or war with the Federation and some other faction, and then I have to take the side that isn't Federation. So let's take a look. What we have, galaxy map here, and I'm just going to use the in-game because I've been having some rough luck with EDDB. It hasn't really been up to date today. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So I am looking for. We're not doing economy. We're going to go state, and we want civil war. I gotta zoom out. Who's in Civil War? So if I zoom out, there's not a lot nearby. Alright, let me just zoom a little bit. Alright, there's one. It's Federation, Civil War. We'll go check it out. Why not? Oh, now let me just quick check the loadout on this ship to make sure it's ready to fight. You don't want to ever leave without doing that. Right, so I think it has like anti-Thargoid weapons. I think I'm going to switch out. I had Gauss cannons. I'm going to do something different. They are pretty good. And I've got rails on it as well. I might, you know what, I might swap these out for something that just does consistent damage. Because right now, because they're on the side of the ship, their convergence is awful. So let me just, I'm going to store these. And since this will give me, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is just put some turreted multi-cannons on here so that they can at least do damage when I actually might have some in storage. Turreted long range. They're nice. Let me see. Long range. Got a lot of those. Oh, there's the bulk. These are rapid fire, I think. Yeah. I'll just... there. All right. That should work a little bit better than Scott's cannons did. Just take a look at functions. What do I want? Target only, fire at will, forward fire. Say target only. I don't want to end up having things firing at me, so we'll just say target only. All right, so now I'm looking for... oh, I think I marked the system. Yeah, we'll go there. All right. All right. Time to hit it. All right, so I'm gonna do a little combat, hopefully. We'll check out the system. We're gonna hit some conflict zones, and basically I'm gonna be fighting against the Federation. Hopefully both factions are Federation, so that but you never know.
Landing coupler disengaged. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
And it really doesn't matter. I just, you want to destroy some Federation ships. And when they drop their Core Dynamics compounds, you have to scoop them up. Now, I didn't put any limpets on, so... but since I'm only going after the Core Dynamics Composites, and they are pretty rare to drop, I don't think I'm going to have... it's not going to be too tedious. It'll be one or two. There'll be like one or two per kill, so... But we shall see. I mean, sometimes... well, what I did was I went flying around looking for high-grade emissions USSs. And that was a total bust. So that was over... almost an hour and a half of futility and frustration. I don't think I'll ever attempt that again. I will, if I randomly come across high-grade emissions, I'll always drop in, but I'm not going to make that any part of my core gameplay ever again, specifically looking for those USSs. And I'm hoping within the next, well, with this fourth quarter update, that USSs are gone for good and they become basically known entities in systems. And they might be randomly generated, but you don't have to wait for them to pop up. They're just there. We'll see. Or have some sort of method of locating them. Alright, so here we are. Just do a quick scan of the system. And now what I'm going to do is target the nav beacon, I think. Come on. First we have a USS, so... spin around here. Weapon fire. And I'm looking for the nav. Okay, so there it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scan the whole system. But we see, you know what? I'm just going to go to a conflict zone. I don't even care. I'm going to go to this high intensity conflict zone, I think. Well. And basically what I'll do is when I drop in, then you know, before I do this, hang on a second. We gotta hit a station, I think. Oh, see, there are no stations I can dock at, so unless there's a planetary station. All right, well, let's live dangerously. If I get killed, I'll just get booted out of the system. That's all right. So don't get killed, right? Hi. Okay, so conflict zone. What I'm doing is looking for Core Dynamics Composite. I will be fighting against whatever faction is aligned with the Federation. Hopefully they'll be easy to see if you ship scan. Alright, so what I'm basically gonna do is I'm just gonna boost out of the middle of this mess.
Flight assist off.
Spin around. Okay. Can we stop? A little bit closer so I can get some scans on. Okay, so System Defense Force. Arsenic Dynamic. And there's the Federal Navy. Okay, so we're gonna take the other side, which is Arsenic Dynamic. Go. We want Arsenic Dynamic. All right. There we go. Time to get in. Fire up the weapons. Closer. There we go. On. Finish this guy off. There we go. Just throttle down, and when he detonates, there we go. Now quickly look. Contact. And nothing. Now I've got plenty of high density composites, don't I? So we just abandon that and we look for more enemy ships. There's another one. Oh, he's too far away. He's up a bit. I'm not going to get a shot on him.
Target destroyed.
There he is. All right, well, we'll fire on this guy. Dead. I'll get a little closer.
Target destroyed.
And thermic alloys are worth getting. Thermic alloys I'll go after. But as you can see, it's just, this is a little bit less tedious than the other way, but barely. Oh, too fast. Alright, well that's alright. We'll just get back into the fight, because I'm really not that interested. Closer in, this is a small ship.
Under attack. Heat sink deployed.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get out of here and get hammered. I got too close to the middle. I'm boosting out. I don't want to lose so much shields.
Flight
Full
assist
spin.
off. Flight assist on.
Destroyed, or he popped the heat sink? Can't tell. Pop the heat sink. There he is. So we're almost in range. Alright. Time to open fire on this buddy. He's dead.
Target destroyed.
Quick take a look. Nothing there. Okay, there's a python attacking me. Go right at it. He's dead.
Target destroyed.
Take a look at. No. Bummer.
Under attack.
Alright, there we go. Federal dropship. There is a federal ship. I should get a good chance at... Gosh, dang it. He's too squirrely. Nothing. Bummer.
Target destroyed.
Nope. Bummer. So this looks like it's a total bust as well. Oh, I wish I knew how to get these things because I just can't seem to locate them. Federal gunship. Let's go.
Friendship charge detected.
Alright, there we go. Got in for the kill.
Target destroyed. Under attack.
take a look. Wow, they just... all this stuff drops and none of it is what I want. These are all good, but I have tons of it. Nope. Just nothing what I'm looking for. A shame. So clearly this is not spawning Core Dynamics Composites. So it's another bust. I'm fighting against a... So clearly I'm either in the wrong type of system or it's another myth I've just busted. That these things actually spawn. Just no way of getting... there's a Federal assault ship. just not getting any hits. Alright, so I'm out of here, because this is not getting me what I want either. So, we're going to head back to the station in this... Actually...
Under attack. Flight assist off.
Actually, I gotta go scan the nav beacon. Because I'm gonna have to find a planetary.
Ready to engage.
A planetary base, because they only have small stations here. Alright, so this system was in a civil war, Federation, and not dropping Core Dynamics Composites. So I killed a bunch of Federation ships, got pretty much everything else dropped, but no Core Dynamics. So either I'm in the exact wrong system type, or they just don't drop. Anyway, today, as far as finding Core Dynamics Composites, epic fail, complete. I didn't find one, not a single one. And that's really what makes the game frustrating, because all I did was, that's all I wanted to do today. And I did exactly what is specified in the best practices for finding them. Didn't find it, not a single one. So sometimes you feel like you do really well in this game, and other times it It beats you up. Scan the nav beacon, and hopefully there'll be a planetary station I can go land and turn in my money. Or turn in my combat bonds. But pretty disappointing day today. Just didn't get anything accomplished that I wanted to. But it happens. We'll take a look at this is the total bus.
Scan detected. Scan detected. Scan detected.
I guess I'm just gonna head back to Ray. There is really, until I figure out how to bind these things, there's no point in just randomly flying around. It's just too much of a hassle. Back home, sweet home. So just heading back to my home system, and I think I need to regroup and rethink this, how I'm going to find these things, and maybe methodically hit each different method, and just one by one check off the list, go through each recommended method. Until I find one that actually works. Because right now, I mean, pretty fruitless. And I'd be interested to hear how you guys find them. Because, man, I mean, I haven't seen one today. Oh, there it was. High-grade emission. So, we're going to head back. That's the first one I've seen in over an hour. Pretty close to it. But I don't think this is Federation. I'm not sure if it is. I suppose I should know that. Proto heat radiators. Bummer. These are rare enough that you just have to take them. Unfortunately, I don't need them for anything. Alright, so, what a day. So I'm back at Ray Gateway. I'm gonna actually spend a little time reading a little bit about the best method. I thought I understood how to find these things, but clearly I don't. Unless I'm just the most unlucky person, which is could very well be the case. But basically, about 2 hours of gameplay. I was looking for Core Dynamics Composites, and I didn't find a single one in 2 hours. Not one.
Core Dynamics Papa Alpha Tango. Comms link established. Please approach the station at a safe speed and give way to larger vessels, Commander. Landing permitted. Prep for arrival on landing pad 09er.
But there's only so much abuse I can take, and that's it for me today. Just too much disappointment for one day.
Landing successful. Docking restraints engaged. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Alright, well, here I've got what kind of material trader do we have? So we've got encoded. Oh, that's good. I can, here, let me pull this up. So, I need modified embedded firmware, and I have adaptive encryptors capture. I only need to trade 18, and I don't need them for anything. So, that's what I'm gonna do. Adaptive encryptors capture. If I need modified embedded firmware, and I need 3 more units of it. So what I'm gonna do is that's what I need, and I'm gonna trade the Alright, so now I don't have to go looking for modified embedded firmware anymore. And that's the only data trade that I need to do. What tech broker? Darn, tech broker. Alright, so that's the only thing I could do at my home system for now. But I still need 40 Core Dynamics Composite. Very supercapacitors, Imperial shielding. I don't have anywhere near enough to make these trades. But I check the missions board. Sometimes you look for material rewards. There's a lot of materials that I still need. Mostly I need raw materials. And oh, look at it. There you go. There was a mission right off the bat. Okay. Material. Just see what they're providing. Nothing I need. Oh, there you go. Lots of modified embedded firmware for massacre missions. Oh, you could really cash in. Personal weapons. Alright. Well, I don't need any more of that. So, alright, so that's what happens today. I pretty much followed the common knowledge for getting Core Dynamics Composites, and it failed completely. I mean, that not even one in 2 hours of searching for them. So I will, again, I need them, so I got to try again tomorrow. So guess what I'm doing tomorrow? Maybe I'll do it a little bit later in the day so I can at least have some alcohol to numb me to the boredom. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry it wasn't more productive, but that's the way this game goes sometimes. And you end up just failing miserably at what you thought you could do easily in maybe an hour or so. And I will be back at it tomorrow, hopefully more successfully than today, but you never know. Have a good day, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and keep flying.